Hey guys, so today I am doing a review on a classic book. I'm sure that a lot of you guys have heard about it. It's called Memoirs of a Geisha. It's a total classic, and I'm really excited to do a review on it. It's another like Asian kind of historical fiction book. It's a lot like Snowflower and the Secret Fan, which I did a review on a couple days ago. So if you liked my review of Snowflower and the Secret Fan, go ahead and keep watching. And I'm sorry for the background. I kind of just took a seat on the floor of my living room. So this book is a lot older. My mom actually gave it to me. And at first I didn't want to read it, and I was like, no, like it's not going to be interesting to me. But I ended up reading it because she insisted, and I'm so glad that I read it because it's just kind of it's a one of a kind book because it gives the viewpoint of an actual geisha. And geishas, if you didn't know, they were in kind of early 19th and 20th century China. I mean, they dated back before that, but this book is set in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they were the traditional Chinese women that you think of when you think of like the white powdered face and like the hair up in the bun and just and like the traditional like perfect Chinese women. They were called geishas, and there is a kind of a preconceived notion about geishas that they were prostitutes because their company was paid for by men, but they weren't prostitutes. They were entertainers, and it was a status symbol for a man to go to a party with the best geishas, and they were conversationalists, and they served tea, and so they were most definitely not prostitutes. And I thought that a geisha was a prostitute before, but then I read this book and it opened my eyes. So this book starts out, and Sayuri, I think that's how you say her name. I'm just gonna say it like that. I'm sorry if I just insulted you or anything, but I'm gonna call her Sayuri. Sayuri is from a little fishing village in China, and she has an older sister, and her mother has just passed away, and so her father sells Sayuri and her sister into he basically sells them away into what he thinks is prostitution for both girls. But they don't know that because Sayuri is like 7. Her older sister, is sent into prostitution. She's sent to one of those houses, and but Lily, she's really pretty, and she has gray eyes, which is really unusual for a Chinese woman to have because they traditionally have brown eyes. And so she ends up kind of being spotted by a geisha woman, and they're like different houses that geishas live in. It's explained in the book kind of more in depth. So she's sent to live in one of the houses, and basically she is sent to school to become a geisha because it's a career. And Sayuri is basically in this house, and the women who are kind of guiding over her are not very nice to her, and they basically make her be a servant and just do kind of work for her keep. Also a girl at her house named Pumpkin. So they're the same age, and they become friends-ish, sort of. Sayuri thinks that they're friends. And so a couple years go by, and she is there's a senior geisha. She's like 19. Named Hapusari. I'm so bad at these names. This is pathetic. Anyways, I'm gonna call her Hapusari. So Hapusari is so mean. She's like the meanest geisha in Gion, but she's really pretty, and so all the men really like her, so she's popular. And then there's another geisha who's like her rival geisha, named Memesa. And so Memesa takes interest in Sayuri, and Hapusari takes interest in Pumpkin. And and so since the two older geishas are enemies, that makes Sayuri and Pumpkin enemies. Or still thinks that they're friends, but Pumpkin kind of has a hidden agenda. So anyways, it's just the story of her life as a geisha, and a lot of things happen. Like, you learn kind of that a geisha's life isn't perfect, and there's a war that goes on. I think it's World War II. Yeah, that makes sense. So World War II goes on, and so it kind of talks about being a geisha during the times of war. And yeah, it's a good book. I really enjoyed this book, and it takes place over a long period of time. And I believe it's based off of an actual geisha. The geisha's name wasn't Sayuri, but it's based off of an actual geisha. And it's a perspective that's nobody's really gone to, and so that makes it really interesting. And there are a lot of twists and turns in the book, and the only thing that I don't really like about this book is that the ending works out too perfectly. It's one of those endings where it's like, okay, whatever. So that's my only concern about this book, but I mean, who knows? The author is Arthur Golden. Oh, that's weird. He's a guy. I totally wouldn't have guessed it was a guy. I actually didn't know that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review and that you will consider checking out Memoirs of a Geisha. You can find it anywhere. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys later.